This match, ladies and gentlemen, is for 2 out of 3 falls with a 30-minute time limit. 2 out of 3 falls or 30 minutes. Introducing first, and they lay claimant to the title of World's Tag Team Champions. They are from parts unknown. They weigh in at 486 pounds. With their manager and advisor, Captain Willie, ladies and gentlemen, the Assassins, number 1 and number 2, the Assassin. We are still waiting momentarily for their opponents. And I heartily hope that you haven't frightened them off already.
Everybody's afraid of us. That's what it is. They're all afraid of us. Where are they? They should be here right now, Chuck. And as I was telling you before, we're the greatest, and we're going to be the greatest forever. Where are they? Where are they at? Why aren't they here? Where are they? Why aren't they here? Why aren't they here right now? Where are they? That's what I mean. You see what I mean?
They're afraid of us. That's the reason. They're afraid of us.
Right,
they're afraid. They know we're going to beat them before they even get in the ring. That's the reason they don't come down. They're chicken.
They're afraid. They got to bet against somebody else.
They're chicken.
That's for Snyder and that other guy in there.
Right.
Call to your attention that they are coming down the ramp right now. 2 out of 3 falls, 30 minutes. Their opponents, ladies and gentlemen, from Indianapolis, Indiana, and from Denver, Colorado. Their combined tag weight is 473 pounds, 473. Ladies and gentlemen, Prince Pullins and Rocky Montero.
There they are, Pullins and Montero versus the Assassins and their captain Willie. Montero wants at him right now. We should have a goodie. This should be an exceptionally exciting match because Rocky Montero has met the Assassins in the ring before, and so has Pullins. But never has Montero or Pullins teamed together, so we should have, I think, the best of the two against the tag team champions. The title is not at stake, although it's a 2 out of 3 fall match. Willie being verbally ordered back to the corner by the referee, and I have an inkling he's going to be frightened by more than words before this night's over. So it'll be Assassin number 1. Incidentally, this is an interesting thing here. As this match gets underway, I'll tell you that in all the matches I've ever seen, here we go, it'll be Pullins and the number 1 Assassin. All the matches that I've seen with the Assassins in them, there has been no time that I can remember where the bigger one, which is outside right now, talking to the little one inside the ring, where the big one has started the match. It's always been the little one that starts the match. Momentarily in the referee's hold, and a slap off the rope as Willie gets back up to his feet. Number 1 indicating something, gesturing back over the corner. I think it was because Montero was out between the ropes and he wanted him back behind the ropes before he was going to engage in any wrestling effort at all with Prince Pullins. Pullins ducked under. Here's a rapidly improving young man. He has highs and lows in the profession itself. Some days he looks very, very good. There's a good tackle. There's a hip lock, and all of that looked good. Then there are other days when he just can't put together anything. It's like a songwriter trying to compose a song, I guess. Some days he can put the right chords together, and the next day, nothing but discord. But Montero's still outside the rope as both Assassins in there momentarily on Pullins. He still comes back up to the side headlock. Look out for a push-off. A real tight one. There it is. Waits for him, turns him around and right over into the hip mare again. On the mat. Rolled over and the shoulders down for a count of 1, but Pullins with a good flail of the legs, able to keep the count off. A vice-like side headlock. You know, it's amazing. A lot of you people, into the knee, the tag, and here's number 2 assassinated. A lot of you people cannot believe that these wrestlers are as big as they are. For those of you who have met me, I will tell you that I weigh about 229. I'll vary between 229 and 231 or 32. And I look like a midget as far as muscles are concerned against these guys. I'm a little bit taller than maybe 1 or 2 of them. But by no means do I have the muscle or the physical definition that they have, and yet I weigh 230. So when you see these guys in the ring, and you hear me call them off at 236, 238, and 240, believe me, those extra 8 pounds they have are all good, solid muscle. And then you get up into the size of Kiniski and Bruiser, Snyder. Snyder becoming more and more athletic as the days go on. This fellow, he officially weighs in at about 243 to 245, but I do understand, Wilbur told me once, that if he doesn't watch out, if he doesn't stay really hard on physical training, a lot of football with his family and boys in the neighborhood, and he likes to play football with the youngsters in the neighborhood, teach them the rudiments that he learned. If he doesn't stay with all this, he can go up over 250 without any trouble at all. But it's pretty hard for you to imagine men that big until you, as I said, realize if you can govern by something that's maybe more familiar to you, that I weigh about 228 to 230, 231. There's a chop right to the side of the head and another headbutt, as we've seen both Pullins and Tom Jones in the previous match use the headbutt. This is something that was made quite popular by Bobo Brazil, and just about all young Negro wrestlers coming along have used that same move. They've followed in his footsteps, and it seems to be quite effective. And I remember here's Montero trying to pull one of the assassins off. He's got the number 1 assassin by the side of the head, and believe me, there's nobody that can uncork a lethal right any more than Montero can. You have Pullins over that top rope there, just momentarily and long enough to crack that right to the midsection. Notice the gauntlets on the right arms, the right forearms of these assassins. Chop to the side of the head. And again, Pullins uses the headbutt. Notice he uses the side of his head. The side of his forehead. And Willie up again. And there's that right again from Montero. And now Pullins. Ooh, baby, look at those. 3 good solid ones now. He'll pummel the midsection with lefts and rights for a while and cross a couple up to the chin. And even one of the assassins likes to get in a blow on his own partner there. A couple of side headlocks now, and we'll have a railroad here in just a moment. Looks as if we may. A 1, a 2, and a 3, and a head on. 2 diesel locomotives meeting head on, and they're both down. Montero again uncorks the right to the side of the head and threatens off on the referee now. The referee indicates to him that he's winding up at the wrong one, and if he makes such a motion as he has before, he's going to go back to the dressing room. So out he goes. Out, but good. And into the ropes. We'll tie him up here as the other one tries to pull Montero from the ring. And let's see what comes next. Lefts and rights, and this one can't move at all. number 2 assassin back to his corner as a tackle from outside the ring by Pullins sets it up for the battering ram, and baby, don't try that one. There's about 235 pounds standing on you. Number 1 out through the ropes as number 2 has untwined himself over there. The tag. Montero not really caught napping, but you can't see him come from all directions. There's a slap to the side of the head, and he's using the gauntlet. You're boxing with the wrong man, Mr. Assassin, because this fellow used to spend a lot of his time as a pugilist in that ring. There's the tag. Pullins with a headbutt, a right to the chin, slides off the headlock, and picks it up from the front. Championship wrestling, it's a new era, of course, a lot of new faces, a lot of new stars, and these world's tag team champions, a perfect example of it, off the top rope with that right foot to the midsection, and we have a count, 2 and a 3, and that's it. And the time for this first fall, 10 minutes, 20 seconds, 10:20, goes to the Assassins over Prince Pullins and Rocky Montero. More to come, the second fall, in just a moment. The second fall going to get underway here in just a moment or two. First fall went to the Assassins over Prince Pullins. Rocky Montero now wanting to come in as this match, second fall, is underway. But this will not be allowed. Or will it? I guess so. I guess the referee is going to go ahead and let him wrestle, although Pullins is the one that's supposed to be in there. He lost the last fall. I guess the referee feels, though, that they need all the breaks on their side they can get. I don't really believe in being illegal on both sides, but that's the way this one happened to go. Now, this gauntlet on the right hand of these Assassins, I believe, has been provoking an eye injury on Montero. He had it jabbed in his face a couple of times in the first fall, and right here at the outset of the second fall, I am quite certain that that was the gauntlet that was dragged across the face. Again, yes, sir, that's it. That right gauntlet. I've examined these, and I do know that they are made out of leather. There's a bit of padding in the heel of the hand area of that gauntlet. As far as I can see, that padding is nothing more than just reinforced leather. There have been some who have claimed that it's steel. There's a steel insert or something like that. I have not seen any steel insert. I have seen a padded area, and I do believe it is pliable. From what I could examine of it, it was pliable, which steel, of course, would not be. That gauntlet again dragged across the face now of Pullins. And he's whipped through the ropes, as both Pullins and Montero now are going to spend a little time off the apron over there. It's Montero that is the legal entry in the ring, and will be up to him to get through the ropes. More championship wrestling coming your way tonight. Don't you go away. Dick the Bruiser on the card. One of the Dolly brothers. Tony Parenti. Moose Cholak. The assassin getting a taste of what he's been dishing out as 3 fingers grinding away at the eyes and the nose of number 1 assassin. Crossed with a right forearm there just momentarily ago, and then another drag of the fingernails and fingers across the eyes. Look at that. Well, what's done by one illegally does not make it legal for the other, and the referee is entirely within his rights to attempt to separate them. The referee cannot, if he knows what's good for him really, use any physical or any body action, any body effort at all to separate the wrestlers. The referee is protected by commission rules, which means, of course, that if he should receive any deliberate injury inside that ring, there would be suits and fines involved. This, of course, does not pertain to the wrestlers in the ring. And should the referee get some body contact in there with any one of these wrestlers, volunteered on his part, then the wrestler is quite capably allowed to defend himself, and the referee voids all this protection he has from the commission. So that's one of the reasons why they resort to the disqualification counts and why they cannot do any more than what they do a lot of times. There's a headbutt by Pullins, about the 3rd one he's thrown at both these assassins. A nice drop kick puts him to the mat. Let's see, we have a count of 1. That's it. There's a short right under the throat by Montero as he viciously slams the face of the assassin to the mat. And again, Montero outside the ropes as Pullins goes for the pin. And again, the count just barely reaches 2. Over the ropes, and the disqualification count commenced. Look out here, Boomerang into the rope. Goes for a tag, and Montero completely out of the corner. No opportunity to complete the tag, and it's Pullins left at the mercy of the assassin until Montero makes that rope. Down again. This has been a pretty wild match all the way. Drag right across the eyes. There's one assassin, although he's working against 2 men in there, seems to have pretty much the go of it. There's a good right by Montero, but he has right into the top buckle. And that'll take some of the sap out of the legs for sure. Again, as this time down to the mat. A flying mare and at the mercy of that top drop off the rope. And the clincher. 1, 2, and 3, and that's it. In 2 consecutive falls, the time on that second fall, 6 minutes and 27 seconds, 6:21. The winners in 2 consecutive falls, the Assassins, with their manager, Captain Willie. More championship wrestling to come. Stick around. We'll be back in just a moment.